Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are joined once again by Randy Clark, and yes, it's all about hair restoration, and he's based out of Dallas, helping so many males and females worldwide, helping you get your hair back, feeling better, completely natural, undetectable, non-surgical solution. Welcome back to the show, Randy Clark. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited to have you back here to talk more about, the work you're doing, because it's not just work you're doing. It's a lifestyle. You're changing someone's self-confidence, self-worth. Tell us a little bit about, who you are and what you do, especially for some new timers out there who are chiming in saying, who is this guy?
I have a hair replacements business I've had for 43 years, working with men and women. When I started out, it was mostly men back in the 80s. And then we transformed to the women because women were losing more hair and wanted the bonding system like the men had. So the women business has really grown a lot in the last 15, 20 years.
See, it's amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, this man is just, overly qualified. You've been very successful. You started the company. What year was it?
1981.
Beautiful. And clearly the longevity of your business speaks volumes. Your clients' testimonials speak volumes. Let's talk a little bit about some of that. And, we've spoken in the past and, clients keep coming back to you and there's got to be a reason. Go ahead.
I'm very lucky. I was able to figure out what they needed. I figured out how important it was. And I was able to make them happy. And every now and then you'll get that one client that he wants what is not going to look good. And you try your best to move them out of that, but sometimes you can't. I had one time that I told him, I said, hey, let's upgrade your look a little bit and make it a little bit more up to date. And he looked at me and he said, do you want me to go someplace else? And I said, no. He goes, well, if you don't like the way I wear my hair, then maybe I should go someplace else. I said, no, I tell you what, I made a mistake and I'll never make that mistake again. And I'm not kidding you. His hairpiece looks like a football helmet. But he is he's passed away, one of my favorite people. But there are some people that you cannot change no matter what. And you're going to see those looks out there. And what I always try to do is improve on them. But you can't help anybody that's happy with the way things are. So best thing you can do is go find someone like me, have confidence in them, and move forward.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And it's stories like that
Sorry,
that
I
really, Oh, was that me? No?
That's my watch.
Oh, that's okay. It happens. Oh my God.
About that.
It happens all the time. Some things pop up sometimes, and might be some spirits in this office. But let's just go to the men we started talking about, and a lot of men go through hair loss, and now women as well. So you mentioned how it's a lot more common now. Women are coming to you. What are some of the things that they're dealing with, and why are the ladies coming to you now? Could you share a little bit about it?
Well, they end up with female pattern baldness, which is a lot like male pattern baldness, except it's not as slick, but they lose almost 90% of the hair in the front and the crown. So it gets so thin they have no hair whatsoever. I had one lady that came in about 15 years ago. She's a few years younger than I am. And I had to take a picture of her to show how thin her hair was. She wasn't ready for it. And now she's been wearing now for, like I said, about 15 years. And they are very thankful. They're very happy. And I kind of feel sorry, too, because some people don't, they let the problem worry them more than it should.
Yeah.
It's something you have to work on every day, but don't be too self-conscious about it. And also don't be too hard on yourself. I have clients that their pieces look absolutely wonderful and they still think it should be this way or this way. It's not perfect. But nothing in life is perfect.
But it's great to know that you're not alone and there's people out there who can help. And in comparison to, other companies that have done what you've done, we talked about that before. Clearly, you're personal, hands-on, and I love why people keep coming back to you. And could you talk about how technology has improved over the years with, what you're using? Again, non-surgical. So we're talking, do I call it, let's describe the process of what it is. It's an adhesive, correct?
It's adhesive or tape, and it's lace or polyurethane, and it's bonded to the skin.
Okay.
In Texas, we do a lot more lace because it's so hot here.
I was going to ask, yeah.
Because the skin bases, the real thin poly bases, they look great for the frontal hairline, but that's about the best part about it. But in Texas, in the middle of the summer, the humidity, it's not good. The lace works much better for the client here.
Got it. And over the years, you're telling me that I could imagine how things have improved from the adhesive, from the technique, to the fact that, you mentioned people can keep this on for how long before they have to come back?
The client that has a typically oily scalp, about 2 weeks. The client has a normal scalp, 2 to 3 weeks. The client with a dry scalp, 4 to 5 weeks. And also depends on how active they are. Someone working out 3 or 4 times a week is going to need to come in every 2 weeks.
Got it. And some people even purchase multiple pieces.
Well, that's more of the daily wear. The clients that do the bonding, we always have a brand new one on hand, so for their switch in case it's an emergency or whatever. But the people that you see buy multiples are usually doing daily wear, and they're taking it on and off themselves.
I mean, it's so realistic. You can't even tell. It is real in a sense, right? And talk about, how your factory, how you're making that hair and how really strategic it is, from the highlights to the thickness of the hair. Could you share that? Because that's something that's very unique, I think, as well to you.
On the mold, we draw in the highlights. If we want square, rectangle, round holes, whatever, and then we can put the different highlights through it. And we actually mark on the paperwork and on the mold, where we want these highlights. And I've even in some cases, like when it comes to the grays, like for example, me, I'm probably about a 60% gray on top and an 80 on the sides. So I would always put like an 80% on the edge to where it blends to the sides and make it a little darker on the top. So it's all how you make it.
That's amazing. Amazing. And I know we talked about, as I'm on the website here, randyclark.com, looking at those testimonials. Could you share? I know we talked about some of these that I've read before, but what people are saying about you. Could you share another client story? I know we talked about Jay Moore. We did Judy Terpley and Sam Nielsen. Wait, did we talk about Sam? Sam, no, we didn't. There is one on here. Okay, hold on. I'm looking. You've been such a help to me thus far in my personal life. I can't tell you what a difference it has made in my whole attitude, outlook, everything since I first came to see you 2 years ago. My best friend says it's like having the old me back again. Thank you again for everything, and your commitment to your clients really does go above and beyond. I appreciate it more than words can express. That's Sam. I don't know is that Sam a female or male?
Male.
Okay. Without getting into too much detail, unless they're open about it, do you want to share a little more about their story?
Well, I mean, Sam was one of those people that just he really was having a hard time with his hair loss, and was unable to even feel like he could work properly or even date or anything. And it was so devastating to him. I personally don't understand that. I mean, I look at things completely different. Yeah. But some people. It's like if you have you lose a leg or you lose an arm or a hand, it's how they feel about it. And for them, it's life changing.
It is. And, everyone has their own strengths, their own weaknesses. They always say the grass is greener. We're all born and blessed with certain things. And one thing I'm not blessed with is good hair either. So I can understand and relate to that feeling of being self-conscious about, wanting to look better and improve your look. And there's nothing wrong with that. And
Absolutely
the
not.
process to come see you, I know you have clients flying in from all over. Again, I know you're mostly in Dallas, a lot of your clients especially. Mm-hmm. But how long of a process is this? Could you kind of guide us through?
Well, but from the time we take the hair samples, it takes about 3.5 months to get a piece back, 3 to 3.5. When I started this in the 80s, it was only about 5 to 6 weeks, but it has slowed down tremendously. And I know that's difficult for a lot of people because they want instant gratification, and it just doesn't happen like that. But there are a lot of stock products available that you could use in place. I personally don't care for them. I don't think they look as good as something that's custom made for someone. But in an emergency, they work great. But the main thing is just realize that it's gonna be a little bit of a process once you get started.
Yeah, it will be.
And then if you're bonding, you order that one piece, it could take longer to get the second piece than you have to wear that, because if they switch out every 2 months, it takes 3.5 months to get one. So what I typically do now with new clients is try to at least get them to get two to get started.
Absolutely. Absolutely makes sense. And, people want to know, can I wear this on vacation? Can I wear this swimming? Can I go scuba diving? Can I do all my normal routine activities with this piece?
You can do anything that any normal person will do with their hair. If you're skiing, naturally, if you're going water skiing and you're avid skier, you don't want to go when it's the day before you need service.
Of course.
You want to have fresh service. Other than that, you can do anything you want in it. I mean, with the way the base is made with the lace and with the glue, you can rub someone's head and not feel even where it blends into your original hair.
Wow.
It's so thin.
See, I love this. And also, let's mention to people that coming to see you, this is a life-changing experience. And I think you've mentioned to me, was it only maybe one time in your career that someone maybe wasn't so happy, right? But I mean, and that was because I forgot why. But we're talking this is the real thing, right?
Well, not everyone can do it. I mean, financially, some people can't do it emotionally. Mm-hmm. So, and some people are just, there's no way they would do it. You know what I mean? But they really don't understand it. If they actually were to spend 3 hours in my office, they would see a completely different change in people.
God bless. We love this. All right. Well, what else do you want your listeners to know about you, your services, your techniques, and, why they should reach out, especially during the holiday season?
Well, the holiday season would be tough because it would be far after the holiday season before you would get it.
But it's still a beautiful gift to think about the time. If there's someone out there in your family, a spouse or a family member that, hey, would love this consultation to get started, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it is. And again, if they think that person would like it.
Yeah. And over the years, could you share, is there any challenges is the word I'm looking for, that you face as an entrepreneur in this market? What have you seen over the years being in business so much with, obviously with your products?
The hardest part for me was the pandemic. The pandemic changed everything.
Yeah. Prior
to that, I really didn't have any problems. It was always, from probably about 1995, I'd owned the business about 14 years then, about 14. Everything from that point on just it's gone up, and it's been just a fun ride.
Yay. And has things changed a lot, though, as far as the quality difference, the
not really.
longevity of the piece? What has changed over the years?
The only thing that's changed is some new glues and such as that. And as far as densities, as far as the pieces, the hair is still about the same. But nothing's really changed over the last 20 years. Someone always comes out with this new design, but I have stayed with the lace and some of the skin pieces for now going on about 20, 25 years. Yeah.
And that's amazing. All right. Well, let's remind everyone, Randy Clark, how we can contact you before we continue.
RandyClark.com or 972-239-0291.
Perfect. What do you love most about the work that you do?
I have really great friendships with my clients. So I really enjoy that.
Yeah. And what do you have, coming up for the holidays? I know we just had Thanksgiving, and I hope you and your family enjoyed yourself. And do you give yourself a break at all as an entrepreneur, or are you still busy as ever during the season?
It stays pretty busy. I usually take some time for myself.
Yeah.
I usually spend Christmas in New York, but this year I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. But this would have been the 33rd Christmas in a row. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, being from New York, I live on Long Island, but we did the Rockefeller Center Christmas show. We saw the tree. It was still under scaffolding, right? The lighting's not for 2 more days, but there's something magical about that city for sure, right?
Very, very much so.
It is. But I love when people always say you're from New York. Everyone assumes you're from, the big city. And I'm not, I've just worked there my whole life, but it's magical for sure. And
most people think of New York City like it's this awful place because of, crime and blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, I have been going for 33 years and it has been a pleasure. The people are wonderful. If you walk down the street and you look like you need help, they'll help you. Now, they may not say anything outside of that, but the people there have always been just absolutely wonderful for me. And I've had restaurants I've eaten in for over 30 years. So,
do you have a favorite? Can I ask? Would you mind sharing? Do you have a few?
My two favorite is Mr. Chow's on 57th
Street, yes.
and Scalinatella on 61st and 3rd.
No, I call it Scalinatella. Yes, I used to work right there over at Fox. Oh, and you go down the steps. I love that place.
Yeah, tell Luigi I said hi.
Oh, my goodness. I haven't been there in so long. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful place. Look at you.
I love that place.
Oh, my goodness. And where do you usually stay in the city? Do you have like a preference?
We stay at the, it's on Park Avenue and 61st. It's Lowe's Regency.
Beautiful. Yeah, the Waldorf was closed the other day. I was driving past that. They're doing renovations there. But no matter where you stay, it doesn't matter. Even if you stay at like a budget hotel in Times Square, it's still an experience.
We've stayed everywhere from the Palace to, you name it. We've stayed at all of them. And I really like where the Lowe's is because it's in a really neat neighborhood and it's real comfortable.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing a little bit of your holiday tips. Now back to work. I'm sorry, but I like getting personal sometimes. It's good to know Randy Clark. And clearly, he's also, are you out on the ranch today or where are you, by the way?
I'm at the ranch.
And what's the weather like?
It's about 60 degrees.
Oh, yeah. It's like freezing here in New York, except it's hot in here today. But yeah, it's like 30-something degrees. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, for someone out there, obviously, who may be new to the whole hair industry whatsoever, who thinking, maybe I'm going through some treatments. What about someone who's going through like chemotherapy? There is permanent hair loss from that and stuff. I mean, let's walk through the process. You have to be completely bald, right, to get the piece on. You have to shave sometimes, right? But would you put it on someone whose hair is going to grow back or no? It's only for someone who's really lost their hair permanently.
For someone who's lost their hair.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Okay. And, when people talk to you about, customization, right? And there's really just something unique. I told you my dad went to that other place, the Hair Club for Men. Got to bring it up because that's the only other place I know, but I'm sure there's plenty of people. And it would always fall off. He would always lift it up. It was just horrific. But I watched some of your videos. I know you've been on television a lot in Texas. Good Morning America, Good Morning Texas. I think I watched that.
Good Morning Texas, yeah.
Yeah, showing the exact process of it. And what I love about you, Randy's a true believer in his product. Could you tell people that you actually shaved your head and went through the process?
I worked for a year.
And how was it?
It was, it opened my eyes up. It made me realize how insecure people can be about their hair. Yeah.
And loving what you do. And, is there any, thing that you want that we haven't spoken about yet? We've kind of spoken about a lot, but what did you want to make sure we touch upon for today? Anything that could benefit our listeners out there?
Just if they need help finding someone other than me in their area, I'd be happy to help them. If they want to come to Dallas, I'd be happy to help them.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, that's good. Now, let me ask you about, since I am a woman, right, and lady, if you have just thinning hair, right, does women sometimes get that? Now, is this something for them, or is it more like, what would you recommend for someone with just thin hair?
Really, I haven't seen anything that actually grows hair. The best thing is that I would tell a woman, if you're getting your hair colored and you're putting peroxide on your scalp, or you're bleaching your hair and putting the bleach on your scalp, that if you'll stop doing that and use henna colors, it's a vegetable dye, some of your hair will grow back because the peroxide is what's breaking down and breaking your hair off.
Interesting. What about for men and women, those red light laser caps? I've seen them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do those actually work to help grow hair?
It helps, but it's like anything else. If you stop doing it, it diminishes. It goes back the way it was.
And I'm sure your clients have tried everything, even you go to your doctor. I think they prescribe you like minoxidil, or you try the foam or right. But that's doesn't work for everyone.
No, I mean it's gonna help you a little bit, but talking 5-10%, it's not going to give you a full head of hair.
Yeah, we want cool heads of hair. What about with guys? Help me out here. You guys all have these sideburn things. Is that part of the piece too?
You can. They do have some pieces that come with sideburns.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that.
But that's harder to do, and it's not as easy, and it requires a lot more work on the client's part.
Got it. And once you when you get the piece, right, is it as is, or you have to style it and cut it, and you can change the style. You can cut it shorter if you even want to.
The standard length comes in 6 inches, unless it's for a female. We order it longer. So it comes in, we have to actually trim the outer base out, and we have to cut bond it and then cut the hair in like a full head of hair.
Amazing. And just curious, where do you get your hair from?
They get hair. There's a group of people outside of the city that have been collecting hair for years. They go all over the world and collect it.
That is fascinating. For someone who wears hair extensions, I know there's people can grow hair massively, and it's a fascinating business. And to know that there's still so much hair always available, right? People grow and cut and grow and cut, and
actually, the Indians grow a lot and sell a lot.
That is fascinating. And when you're making a piece, are they hand sewing it? Is it like a sewing machine? I would love to see the process.
It's hand tied. I used to own my own factory back in the 90s, and we had a silicone base out of Utah that we made, and it was injected. And I had a couple of partners, and it kind of one of the partners was not really the most ethical, and it was really great for me is I pulled away from my business a little bit to get into the factory side. It made me realize, traveling all I did, that some things I could change in my own business. So when I got out of the factory and let them have it, I came back to Dallas and literally tripled my business within about 6 or 8 months.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. So now, Randy Clark and Associates, by the way, if you are tuning in, that's randyclark.com, randyclark.com. He offers you 100% satisfaction guarantee, which is something that you don't hear of as well, right? And financing, too, in case you need that.
Yep.
Well, what would you say, people come, to you for the place of business. They clearly become your friends and your confidants. And someone out there's a little hesitant right now, listening, embarrassed, scared. Mm-hmm. What would you say?
Always give it a try, and I hope you find the right person, whether it be me or someone else. Mm-hmm. But what I would recommend to anybody that's looking for a product like this is to go and if you're not going to come to me, go to your city and go to at least 3 or 4 different locations and feel out who you feel the more comfortable with.
Got it. And you offer, it's a free, no obligation hair loss evaluation.
Absolutely.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I know some places in New York, you got to pay. You got to pay. Yeah. And that's an investment to pay for something you don't know, that you don't trust, that you can't speak hands-on. And also something to be said about you is that you are the owner. You're the one that's hands-on. You're meeting with them. It's not a company that's owned by A, B, C, D. So that's something to be said for. And let me ask, a lot of times you mentioned to me, people usually order 2 pieces, right, to switch it on, switch it off. Mm-hmm. So you could be literally in the chair. Like, how long does it take to remove it to put the next piece on?
About an hour to hour and 15 minutes, and from start to finish.
And then out the door.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you got to leave the piece. And then how long does it take to get service usually?
Well, no, when the clients come in that hour and 15 minutes, we take their piece off, clean it, put it back on.
Oh, okay. Well, so if someone has 2 pieces, how long does it take to get off and put the new one on, and they can get out the door quicker? Is it like 15, 20 minutes?
It depends. Like in a situation like that, you're talking about a client who daily wears. If they've got 2 pieces,
That's the word. Sorry, I'm not familiar with the terminology.
So yes, they would be in about an hour and 15 minutes as well.
Oh my goodness. Well, go ahead.
Because of when the bonding, the crucial part is the first 15 minutes is getting the scalp clean and then cleaning the piece.
Beautiful. Well, Randy, we must say farewell. How did you want to leave off for today with us, Randy?
I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas.
Aw, same here. Is this our last show?
No. We'll have another one. I'll wish you Merry Christmas again.
Aw, thank you so much. Well, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Thanksgiving, and maybe you'll end up in New York, right? Who knows? So maybe we'll end up doing a live shot, and I'll see New York City behind you on the screen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you here. RandyClark.com. Have a fantastic day, and Happy Holidays for sure. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.